us yap here in the booth. We just wanted to make sure that you're all caught up and the players were all caught up, ready to lock and load. And Taylor, it is time for some action.
Let's do it. Let's get into it. Game number 2 in this great best-of-3 semifinals B. Winner moves on to winner's final. Loser not done just yet. Still have a chance to get back into grand finals, but their job got a little bit harder. Thailand leads 1-0. They won their attacking side in a flawless victory as far as I'm concerned. This time around, Thailand will be on defense. Korea will be on the attacking side. They will be in red if you're looking at the overhead view or seeing, of course, the X-ray that is on your screen. Goj was saying it best. A site should be where you set the tone. And for Korea, it needs to be the tone setter. But the question is, how many tickets will they lose before they capture it? Thailand is holding on tight, but Korea is making a good effort to continue to push forward. I think B1 and B2 is where the true action will start, but you can't count Thailand out. They were so aggressive and so dominant in their attacking side that Korea has their work cut out for them, but already making great work on to A. So, Goj, I think you're right. The tone is being set. Korea, they're done playing around. They want to tie this thing up and send it to a game 3.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. They've got to come out swinging this point A. They can't afford to get stalled out here. And a nice flank here from Thailand to try to just wean down some of these numbers on the point. This is the key. You can't just send everybody at the point, because if you do, you're likely going to get cut down. You can send some route man, some hero, just a couple on the flank, and just to reduce the amount of people that are respawning that can push the point and stack numbers there, you can stave off the bleeding of losing this point. And that's exactly what's happening here with Korea. Not only heroic plays on the map, on the point, but also on the outside. And look at that point A. Yes, trading of blows, but the defense is back, and they have repossessed almost the entirety of point A.
Which seems severe, but you look at the tickets, it's not as bad as it seems. Korea's only lost 10. So even though Thailand does retake A, there's a chance Korea still, I think they're still absolutely in the fight. And let's not forget, you gain tickets for every time you capture a site. Korea could leave this one maxed out at 200 once again. But I say all that with just trying to give hope, but now they're down 16 tickets. Thailand shows no signs of, at least relenting. They are relentless without question, and the Wolfpack is in. A has been fully recaptured. The tank, though, should be the difference maker, but you can already see the missiles flying by. Thailand wants to get rid of that tank. They understand that tank could be devastating, so they want it out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we talked a lot of strategy during the last game, and one of the main things we talked about, it is very low. These two people that are just running around, like basically getting pushed around by this tank are engineers, and look how fast they heal it. I mean, this is necessary, and this tank isn't able to get more aggressive because it's getting picked up so low. And so you've got to pay attention to not only the health of that tank, but also the folks that are around it. And again, I've got to tip my hat to Thailand, able to hold point A for a decent amount of time here, is really setting the tone that they're not to be trifled with, as Korea is just fine to break through the outer barricade and find a route in. Smokes are great, but if you don't have the bodies to run through that and capture the point, you're going to be in trouble. It does look like they're finally gaining some ground, though, and they got to keep this bleeding up. You got to get this tank, continue to keep it involved, and pepper these folks that are not necessarily even on the point. Get them get the folks that are moving into the point. Get the folks that are coming in without a bunch of cover.
Korea's tank is truly devastating on point A. That's why they've made such great ground in the second attack. Remember, their first attack failed. Thailand did a wonderful job holding Korea back off of point A. They've taken a couple more tickets away, but on this second attempt, and a good attempt, Korea finally making wonderful effort. They should have A in just a moment's time. You never know, though. Thailand might be able to steal it back from Korea. But I believe we will be heading into B1 and B2 shortly. Saving that tank was everything. It got very low in health. You mentioned, though, obviously the healers around it, getting it back into the fight. And there it is. Officially, B1, B2 has been captured. As I said, you gain tickets back. Korea will be starting fresh on B1, B2, maxed out at 200. We take a look at the stats. Ano on the side of Korea at 14. Wansa also at 14. So spreading the wealth, spreading the love. You've got 3 Slayers who are all around the 14-13 mark. That gives me good faith that Korea fired at all cylinders, and they're pushing into Thailand. B1 and B2, though, their next objective.
Yeah, let's listen in with Korea's comms and see what's going on with them.
어디가?
이쪽으로 가. 내가 해서 쓸게.
지금 청아 막로 쪽에 있다.
패택한 쪽에 한 건데.
왼쪽 멀리 뒤.
아 미안해.
오른쪽 샷각. 오른쪽 뒤. 오른쪽 뒤 샷각 조심해야 돼. 비언들.
나이스.
Sounds pretty good to me, and we got a lot more Senivas inside these buildings as per the usual, the beatdown ensuing. Comms were a lot more aggressive this time around than when we listened to them on the defense, which I was excited about. Korea finding a bit of footing on this map, finding a bit of space to fight with. It looks like they're trying to push for B1 for the most part, but overall, decent job thus far, coming in with full lives, now only down about 10.
Saw paper cut, by the way, from the side of Thailand, the top healer from the first attack. That's when Thailand was on the attacking side. A true instrument for Thailand. Obviously on their big win to lead 1-0. This point in time last time, remember, Thailand on the attacking side had B1 and B2. B1 already captured and B2 being played around with. They ultimately would get countered. Korea would push them back, but Thailand would quickly recover and gain B1 and B2. This time around, though, for Korea's side of things, not looking as strong. Not able to get onto B1 or B2 yet. They're still filling it out. This is exactly where I thought Korea would have a tough time and start to struggle, and Thailand would start to excel. And I think we're starting to see that they've already lost 14 tickets, still healthy on Korea's side of things, but I really do think this could be where Korea could potentially end this series. If they don't step it up, Thailand could win right here, right now, win 2-0 and go and face against China in winners finals. Korea's got to get serious.
And they're finally getting some value on B1, which is nice to see. But you're right. I mean, you talk about the steamroll that was the first map. This is not even kind of similar. They are getting value. They are getting some bodies on the point. Seniva, obviously a major value add for that. Beatdown after beatdown. Certainly helpful. We got some Virons, it looks like, in the mix with that magnetic bond coming in, trying to clear out some of these CQB fights. Says, stay down, says Winter. And don't get back up. This is my building. I love it. Well, here's a quick look. You can see some of the artillery strikes potentially going to be coming in soon. And here's a listen in with Thailand.
ได้ยังไหวโอเคเชื่อใจกันซ้ายเข้าหนึ่งที่ผมแตกอ่ะเดี๋ยวกูไปเล่นข้างหน้าB2มาทีมกูต้องรอกลับมาB2ที่1กับ B2 ที่1กับ B2 โดนลินน้ำโดนลินน้ำมาเตะลินน้ำที่ไม่รักที่มาสายB2สายB2แต่ที่ก็ปามีน้าปามี
Yes, sounds good to me. I mean, that was a lot of the same from the attacker side. And while we were listening in, Thailand on the attack was chaotic. This time in the defense, just as chaotic in a great way, conveying a ton of information. And while listening, they have fully recaptured B1. That moment of an opportunity for Korea to take this first point is long gone.
Never gets old watching a Seniva just bash players in the face non-stop. Love the sound effects that it makes. You can hear it even in the overhead view. B1, a lot of emphasis placed on it from Korea, but you notice getting picked apart. Thailand is pushing them off, pushing them back. B1 will get half capped, but I think it will be Thailand recovering, if I'm not mistaken, unless Korea can fully get it. This would be big for them. They've lost about 40 tickets now. Still not too crazy opportunities to come back, but my worry is still there. I have to say, I don't know if Korea's going to be able to get off of this B1, B2 site. They're going to have to work hard to do it. Thailand has done such a great job, but this is the first glimpse of hope, Goes. The first opportunity to capture a site for B1 and B2. The question is, does Thailand want to continue to put resources over here? I think they give it up. They fall back to B2. If the opportunity comes for them to recapture B1, maybe they go for it, but now they need to put all their eggs in one basket. That's going to be B2. But I say that, Ghosh, it looks like they are going to make an attempt on a retake on B1.
Yeah, this is aggressive. This is what we expect from them. It's not what I expect to see in pubs, but when your team is aggressive as Thailand, they are no holds barred. They are pedal to the metal. They've got a couple bodies on B2, but they are not trying to sacrifice B1. They're not trying to give the attackers a foothold and a respawn this close to their second point. And you've got to realize the commander from the attacker side had put an issued command on B1 to capture and hold it. And so if they allowed this team to hold it for another minute, this is a ton of score going to the side of the attackers where they could potentially use it to call in more vehicles or artillery strikes or anything in between. So a lot of value that they're preventing the attackers from getting if they're able to retake. And because this was such an aggressive push to capture point on B1, it doesn't look like Korea had a chance to double down and swing over to B2 on this tug of war. Instead, they're just trying to go force versus force, and we know who wins that battle.
Yeah, we do. Thailand, clearly. Thailand, without question. Things go from okay to, well, pretty bad at the moment for Korea. Now they're down to 137 tickets. During that retake attempt from Thailand, they were able to take away, I believe, 20 to 30 tickets just in that retake alone. They did it successfully, and already just like that, B1 fully captured from Thailand's perspective on the defensive side, and Korea starting to fall apart. They're in shambles, and Thailand shows no signs of slowing down. B1 and B2 is tough to take. It really is. I'm actually shocked Thailand full sent it back into B1. I really thought they were going to break back, because that's what I'm used to seeing in warfare competitions on trench lines. You lose a site, the team that lost the site on the defensive side will fall back and, again, put all their eggs in one basket. But tough break without question. And now the question is, what is Korea up to? What are they going to do in response? How are they going to attack once again? The amount of people on B1 now from Thailand's side of things is tremendous.
Yeah, it was a great hold. And again, this goes to show that they know what they're doing. They're able to retake an aggressive swing, an aggressive play, but macro level is great. They were able to recapture and prevent the extra score. I mean, I'm impressed with Korea able to get through A and have some value here comparatively to what we saw in the last one. They're able to keep their tank alive as well. We actually saw a quick glimpse on the overhead cam of one of the engineers, I think, laying on top of the tank and constantly healing it. That's one way to do it. There's no question about it. It's a great value add. The problem is at some point, and it looks like they're on the move now. This is what I was about to call out. They do have a lob. It looks like, I think that's what it is on the far side. They've got a respawn beacon on the far side. And I think they might be mounting an effort from this side flank over to B2 to change the tide of battle and potentially catch the defense on their heels. A huge swing from this lob all the way around the side. And here comes at least a partial push. Here's a listen in with Korea.
다시 후방으로 빼주세요. 비트 투라 이거 절대 안 돼요. 뒤쪽으로 빼주세요. 이거 강가 쪽 캠프 쪽으로 리그로, 강가 캠프 쪽 리그로 빼야 돼. 강가 캠프. 다시 뒤쪽으로 빠져서 B원으로 가요. B원으로.
Well, another solid listening from Korea. They've got some nice pace on their comms. They're conveying a ton of info. It's just a matter of what are they deciding to do and how are they going to execute on it.
104 lives now for Korea. Scary prospect, especially given the fact that, once again, no tick has been done on B1. Yeah, they've captured it one time. Yes, they've made efforts, but every single time they progressed onto B1, Thailand has taken it back immediately, without question. But now Korea's going for something different. For the first time, they're going to be on B1 and B2 at the same time. Yep. This is something that this is something that Thailand did very well during their attacking side just the game previously. Now Korea is doing the same thing. This is a good adjustment, and this is a positive thing. Something we need to see more, and especially something I wanted to see from Japan, right? When they couldn't capture A. Well, how do we attack it in a different way? Korea is thinking on their feet. Despite them losing B2, Goj, they still made enough effort on B2 to split the forces of Thailand, so now they can capture B1.
Yeah, it's really well executed. I actually love that they sent that armored vehicle around the right-hand side to draw the fire to B2. You see a vehicle, you kill the vehicle. And because they swung, the defense turned around, all of a sudden a massive push, and Korea is at the very least on the board here with B1. Can they hold it? I don't know, but there is at least a glimmer of hope for this map if they can push up now and make it onto B2. Like we saw with China, ideally you are getting fully stabilized on this point, getting your forces in order, and then making a huge swing. And you can tell, because they have so much presence on B1, they're getting way more aggressive with their tank to potentially push up and provide some more aggressive and honestly realistic covering fire rather than just peppering from a distance. But when you do this, there is a small risk that you lose your tank. Let's get a quick lesson in with Korea.
Beyond 들어왔어요. 상대 Beyond 들어왔어요.
B1 지원 주세요. B1 지원. 본대 한 군데만 Beyond으로.
Wow, yeah, it sounded good, but vehicles dying on both sides. This is a bloodbath with some of our final lives, and it looks like the tug-of-war has commenced, Taylor. B1 done. B2 available. They capture B2, but they give back B1, and all of a sudden, the defense swaps sides with the attackers, and this point is still live, just barely, because of a great Herculean effort here from Thailand, as the vehicles can't get a ton of value.
Oh, that vehicle's about to be destroyed. It can't get out of the trench lines. It's quite literally stuck. Yes, a tank can climb a wall, but a vehicle cannot get out of the trench lines. That's just how it goes, and unfortunately, it's down and out, and heartbreakingly enough for Korea, they will lose B1 once again. They were so close, such a valiant effort, now down to 69 lives. Chad, I ask you, the collective mind out there, can Korea do it? I don't know. B1 and B2, this is where I knew the struggle point was going to be. This is where I knew Thailand was going to wake up. A is just so hard to lock in. Korea set the pace early on, but can Thailand lock it in? Can they win this series 2-0 to go into winners finals against China? Or will Korea come back? That's the question I have for you, and I await your answers. Let's listen into Thailand and how they're sounding.
มี2เยอะมันกลับไปมี2มันกลับไปมี2กันเยอะแล้วพังรถพังโดนจะมาเคลียร์แล้วรับทราบมีหนามมาได้เรียกว่าวางหนามไปแล้วก็ได้นะเว้ยเฮ้ยหลังมาเหรอปุ๊บเกิดมาเจอแล้วมาเจอตัวนึง
Again, great comms all the way through. You can hear the energy. You can feel the moment goes. Thailand, for me, just listening, obviously I don't understand, but from just the tonality, that sounds to me that Thailand understands they're about to win. They're about to go to winners finals, and all they have to do is take away 53 more lives from Korea.
And you're seeing, I think, a tank destroyer back here for the side of the defense. Thailand, this is the thing. When you're able to hold this long and get this many kills, you're going to have vehicles and different call-ins, your support systems that you can call in and change this battlefield. The attackers have some of their own. You can see more vehicles getting into the mix. These last 50 lives are going to be utter chaos, but that's what we love about Warfare. The best Warfare players are able to ingest an insane amount of information and use it to be able to actually do something on the map. So when we hear comms like that from teams in Thailand, teams in Korea, that's, you know, you're watching the top of the line Warfare Esports. You're watching the top of the line in Delta Force, and I'm loving the action. As we expected, some S12K, some shotguns in the trenches, utter chaos and exchanging of hands. The tug-of-war, it has commenced as they've traded B1 and B2 several times, but the defense is holding on with those Sanivas in the bunkers on B1 just for a moment longer, potentially, as the defense has fully reset up back on B2.
It's do or die now for Korea. Do or die. This has to be a flawless push. With only 36 lives remaining, Thailand is knocking on the door of winners finals to play against China. A chance for a guaranteed $30,000. The winner of that series will either get first or, will be a guaranteed second place. That's what's at stake here in Korea. If they want this, they've got to grab the bull by the horns and go for it, or else they're going to have to go through the losers bracket to try and work their way back into grand finals. Now 29 lives left. Thailand still holding on tight. The good news is for Korea, they've managed to get B1. The bad news is, though, they still got to get the B2, and Thailand's defense on B1 is holding. And in fact, they're recapturing 23 lives left. Goj, I think this might be the beginning of the end.
We've got lavs, we've got tank destroyers, we've got tanks, and everything in between. It is nonstop chaos. Vehicles so important in both teams know that, so they use all of their scores to call in whatever they can. But it's all about bodies on point, and the defense is somehow, some way, smoking like crazy, creating the healing smoke with Stinger, just keeping bodies on point. And you can see a couple lone survivors from the defense on B2 holding it down for a moment, but knowing that the rest of their team is doing the work they need to capture the other point. This is perfect execution from the defense to just trade points and just play the tug-of-war so perfectly, because the best part about tug-of-war, Taylor, is that on the defense side, you don't actually have to win. You just got to keep playing the game. And here comes our first guided missile on trench lines. It lands, it connects, and the attack just wiped out, I want to say, 10 different people on the point. That was the biggest guided missile I've seen on main broadcast in an insane amount of time. Korea, they've opened things up for a moment. Can they capitalize on it in the final moments here to try to retake one of these points? I don't know that it's going to be enough, but it was dang cool on broadcast.
It was awesome on broadcast, wasn't it? So fun to watch. And shout out to Korea for putting up such a fight, but you can't dispute Thailand. They're in a league of their own. They played this so well from attack to defense, flawlessly done. And I gotta say, this is the performance Thailand needed to show, because now they go to winners finals to play against China, who dominated their win against Japan, much like Thailand just dominated their series against Korea. You've got two teams about to battle out in winners finals who went 2-0, who won flawlessly on their respective maps. I'm excited. Thailand looking great. The chicken head lives on. Goes. The chicken head lives on.
I'm loving this. I don't know what it is. Somebody's going to have to give me the lore between days, but we've got an interview here on stage, and again, want to listen into some of this. And